Specifically, as far as HMOs, quite a few of my patients were Delta Airlines patients. And then they went and got an HMO, so I lost quite a bit of my business right away. So I had to look around for something to do and something to get new patients in, and that's where David gave me the things to do. And actually what he did, one of the things was a direct mail piece that he gave me. And I had tried direct mail before, it never worked. And then I put his piece out and I got 23 new patients the first time. And I went, wow, let me try another zip code. So I sent it to another zip code and I got another 20 new patients. So now what I do, when I see my practice get below 17 new patients a week, I put that out. And I know I'm going to get 20, 25 new patients right away.
Also, with the things in the past, it was really unstable developing new patients. He was always constantly thinking of new ideas, and I felt like I was reinventing the wheel a lot of the times. The Singer system itself has given me a lot of the tools, and this is really, I guess, the biggest advantage of the system itself. It gives you the unlimited amount of tools of how to develop, gather, maintain the new patients in the office.
Well, we felt to grow that our answer wasn't in one area. We couldn't just go out and do a lecture here, or go out and do a mailer here, or maybe even just market to one type of patient. We felt like we had to have many different things working at one time. In fact, that's what the Singer program calls the new patient machine. We've got multiple things going at one time, so if one becomes a little less effective than the other, we've still got external programs that are bringing in new patients into our office. And it's worked so well over the last, 4 years now, that we've grown from about 200, 225 visits a week up to about 370 now.
So I purchased an existing practice straight out of school. We were seeing about 75 or 80 people a week, and then I maintained that for a while and wasn't really sure which direction to go or what to do. So one of the things I did was I went to a David Singer seminar, and it seemed like that listening to him and then listening to the 4-day report, it gave me something that I didn't get in school, and that was being able to learn how to manage a patient, be able to educate a patient and let them know what's going on and give them a choice of care. And within 6 months of working with David and doing the things he taught me to do, I had my practice up to over 200 patient visits a week. And then within the next year or so, I was up around 350, 400 patient visits a week, implementing all of his procedures.
You actually take a person from their medical awareness of take this pill and you're fine, to actually explaining how the body works and allowing them to make the decision on whether they want corrective care or whether they want relief. There was a novel concept, and 85% of the people we see choose corrective care. And another thing he did which totally blew me away, he talked about prepays. Actually having a person commit to care in doing a prepayment plan. And David has a whole program to how that works. The nice thing about David, again, is he tells you specifically, step by step. Sometimes you wonder, am I ever going to do all these steps? Well, if you just do what he says and you believe in chiropractic, it'll work.
So through this 4-day report, what we've been actually been able to do is have more patients be able to get corrective care, believe it or not. With the educational system that David's given us, 90% of my patients choose corrective care and follow through and get it. So the patient retention level has more than doubled in my office, which in turn has been very valuable for the expansion of my practice in terms of the number of people we see a week, the amount of income that the office generates a week, and the number of people in the community that actually are getting well and staying well.
So finally I tried and went to one of David Singer's seminars, mainly because I saw a tape that he had put out called Purpose, and I thought, this is interesting, a seminar or a teacher that talks about purpose rather than money. And I thought, wow, let me check him out. So I went to one of his seminars, and this is the truth, people aren't going to believe it, within 2 weeks of that seminar, I went from an average of 8 or 9, maybe rarely 12 new patients in a week, I went to 22 new patients a week, but I stayed over 17 new patients a week for the next 6 months. And since that time, I've more than doubled my practice.
David, first of all, made me realize by just listening to him that I had totally been off purpose with chiropractic. I mean, I know that chiropractic is the only way to get people well. I had been doing it since 1978. Trouble is, I had gotten so into playing the insurance game, and I wasn't even aware of my practice going down the tubes, and it was because of the insurance downward cycle that we were in. I finally realized that. And the thing about David that was phenomenal was, not only did he say, hey, look, you really got to concentrate on chiropractic, but he had specific procedures to actually turn the practice around. And it wasn't like, well, you know, rah-rah, this and that and the other thing. David had the program worked out. All we had to decide to do was follow the program.
Ethics. I mean, I was so blown away at something that was ethical. We had not heard that before. I mean, it was like a novel thing. Of course it isn't, obviously, but be ethical. Just be honest and ethical, tell the truth, communicate, confront, and control. I mean, that's my 3 C's. I always say from David's, I've always learned the 3 C's, you know, communication, confront, communication, control. You got to have those 3 things.
I know a lot of my friends in the area have been worried about the HMOs and the PPOs and a lot of the managed care systems that are out there right now. And the Singer system itself has shown me how to actually bypass a lot of the negativities and a lot of the holdups that the managed care system has given. And it really hasn't even held us back at all. We're still growing, and we're full fee. There's really never any problems of giving away services. And you just feel like you're getting something for exactly what you're putting into it. And it's just wonderful.
I think the biggest tools that we got, or the most effective tools that we got early on with the Singer program, was the educational process that he recommends, the 4-day report of findings, the preferred scheduling, which is a way of scheduling appointments, and then also the referral system that he recommends. Really, those are kind of the basis or the core of the program. And then there's a lot of different other marketing tools that we were really anxious to get to, but we thought we'd set these up first, and then we could go do the fun things, the marketing things. We didn't even get to the marketing things because after implementing these 3 things, our practice exploded. In fact, all we did was change our way of scheduling patients and change our way of educating patients, and within 90 days, we had increased already 100 visits a week.
I'm able to handle a higher volume at a more stress-free level. I mean, it's more like clockwork now than anything, whereas previously it would just be on a wing and a prayer. And now there's a standardized system where when a new patient comes in, or any patient comes in, that the staff members know exactly what to do, exactly how to handle them, where to put them in the office. So now there's a system in place where when something happens, it's handled right then and there, instead of waiting or knocking on my door, having one of the staff members knock on the door. Dr. Deb, you know, there's a new patient here. He's acute. What do I do? Well, now they know what to do, and so they stop knocking on my door. I get more work done, and I'm more efficient with my work.
I felt that my practice was going really well. I was up to 100, 150, finally got up to about 175, and then all of a sudden, I just couldn't push any further. I was getting overwhelmed under a lot of stress. I just couldn't dig myself out of the hole anymore. So I started to look for at least some help, and that's when I ran into the Singer program itself. Since I began with the Singer program, it really gave me the systems to put things more into control. I felt like a lot of the stress was being alleviated. I was starting to follow specific guidelines and rules and a lot of the streamline events to take every aspect of my practice back in control. The practice started going from 175 a week up to 200 to 250, and recently we've actually gone beyond 400. And the system is so easy that in reality I can even go further. I don't know what my body's able to control, but we actually dropped our office hours from 5 days a week down to 3.5 days a week.
With some of the techniques I learned with the Singer program, I'm out of the office I'm home by 7 o'clock a couple nights a week, home by 8 o'clock other nights of the week. I used to be there till 9 or 10 o'clock. So now there's less stress with that. Home life is much better. I take more vacations, I take more time off, and I'm working less hours. That makes me a happy camper.
Or I hired David because I felt like I needed a coach. I needed somebody to give me some direction. All major companies in the United States have consultants, people who they look for, who give them direction. And I made an investment of $5,000 with David Singer, and it's given me a return of well over $100,000. And I feel like that if it's good enough for Fortune 500 companies to have consultants, it's good enough for me, because I really just did not have any idea how to run a business and how to manage a facility. I knew chiropractic. I had nothing taught to me in school pertaining to how to run a business. And David's given me an exact step-by-step procedure of what to do from the moment the patient walks in the door: education, referrals, handling the patient properly. It is a complete step-by-step procedure from the very beginning to the end. It's perfect.